All right, welcome back to Shop Talk. I am one of your hosts, Calvin from Next Gen Escape.
And I'm another host, Jax, here from Crazy Squirrel Game Store.
Well, we love to read, and if anybody asks me, hey, Calvin, have you read this book? Before they even ask me the title, I say, oh, I've read it.
Do you?
Don't worry about it, because I am on Reddit about every day.
Yeah.
The app told me that I am on a 600-day streak. And I'm
so
approaching the 700th day, and I am very worried about that. I need to unplug from my phone.
No, you get every morning just start.
I swear, I thought that Kia and I did a week-long cleanse of social media. I swear, I thought I did that, and I thought I was good. But Reddit is claiming otherwise.
Yeah.
I think a story came up recently.
Yeah. So in the Fresno subreddit, there was somebody who posted that they had a business idea, and they really want like a third space area, just like lounges where people could kind of hang out, which is, I think, how the original post was, that they really wanted it to be kind of informal and just a comfortable place for people to hang out at. And I posted on there, like, hey, that's a lot. That's probably more than you think it is. But then the person who made that post reached out to me to get some more information. And people ask all the time, hey, I'm thinking about opening a game store. Like, how do you think I could do that? Or, hey, I'm gonna open a business. What do you think of this? And I'm always like, it's a challenge, right? Opening any business is a challenge.
It's probably going to be more than what you think.
Yeah, I always tell people when they want to talk about money, I'm like, come up with how much money you think you're gonna need. Here's a litany of things that you need. So I sent them a post saying, well, you're gonna need couches and chairs and tables. And if you're gonna have any kind of prepackaged food, you have to have a place to store those and a place to display those. And then you have to have trash cans. And then if you're gonna have somebody working there, you have to have a desk and a chair and probably a computer. And like, there's all of these
If you're gonna be serving
things.
food, you need food.
Food and beverage license if you're gonna do something other than prepackaged. So I usually tell people, like, think of these things, start to price out some of these things, figure out what your budget is, and then just put a 0 on the end of it. Because you're gonna need at least that much, right? It is expensive. It's very expensive in California.
Just our move for our successful business cost us about $50,000, all said and told, to move it. And we had budgeted for about $42,000.
Yep.
So we thought that we had several years of experience, and we knew and dialed it in, and even then we blew it and ran out. And we don't have money for a sign. So in fact, we don't have a front sign.
I didn't even mention to that guy that, like, you're gonna need a sign, and then you're gonna need,
you're gonna be pricing per letter.
You gotta go to the city and get your permits, and that while that may not be expensive, that's gonna take some time.
So you need to account for that as well.
Yeah, so it really is kind of a question when you see people online. If you're in business and you see them asking about business, do you want to help? How much do you want to help? Why do you want to help? Because I'm always like, well, I kind of want you to think about money a lot, because opening a business is a great way to lose all of your money.
Fantastic.
Right? The joke used to be, how do you make $1 million in the game trade? You start with 3 million and open a store, right? Same thing about boat ownership. But it really is, it's a lot. And that doesn't even go into all of your time. Because basically all of your time is going to be gone. Before we finished opening the store, like the last month of that, in our house, I had like 8 pages of to-do lists just taped up in the dining room because we were at that moment.
I remember the opening phase of just, you can finally visualize them.
Right.
A finite number of tasks.
Exactly.
But you can't open, and that's so exciting.
Right.
It's daunting because there's a lot on the list.
Yeah. There's
8 pages, huh?
Right? Oh God, it was everything. It was everything from like, make sure you open this distributor account, to like learn how to seal cement. Like, it was just all of the different things. So I'm always hesitant when I see posts like that, as if I'm gonna reach out or not, because it's a lot. You don't want people to lose their money, but you also don't want to like squash their dreams. So if people come in asking about a game store, or I'm gonna open a game store, I always refer them to Gary Ray's FLGS book. I think the subheading is something like finding your way to a middle-class income, because game stores aren't gonna make you rich. Very rarely will a game store make you rich.
Very few are able to do that. And if you are able to do that in Fresno, in a market that has not traditionally been able to do that, fantastic.
Great.
Props off to you, my dear friend.
It's also hard when you talk to somebody like that to be like, you know that there are places that do this. Because basically what you're describing is a library with food.
What the post described essentially sounded like your game library.
Yes.
And I said that as much in the post that
Yes.
everything that he's saying of it's a place where you can pay like $10.
Right.
You get to sit down at a private room or table, private-ish too.
Yeah.
So you can invite people. You don't have to though. You can go just with your friends. But it's also a space that you can use to study.
Right.
And unfortunately, when it came to studying for me in college, if I was paying $10, that was going to coffee, not for
exactly.
a seat.
Yeah.
So that was really tough for me to understand the true value prop. And I asked as much in the post, trying to engage in conversation of what value proposition do you want your customers to have for you that isn't already being served by Crazy Squirrel, by Beer for the Meeples, one of our friends over in Clovis.
Yeah.
I feel like both of your spaces hit on both of that mark, like kind of perfectly
hard,
what he's describing about, except you don't do karaoke and video games. But
we've done video games.
I've seen video games out here.
Yeah.
You can bring them.
Yeah, it's man, it's such a balance because like, what that guy wants to do does exist in some forms.
It's out there.
But you also think you can do everything better. Right? Like it's just, that's part of the
what
drive.
we hear all the time. I mentor a lot at high school and college level entrepreneurship courses. I mentor and judge for a lot of the business pitch competitions that they have. That's consistently what I hear. We're gonna do this better than our competitors and it's gonna be cheaper. And there's no realistic way of going about it other than that's what they want.
Right.
And that's what they think is going to derive value for their customers.
And
so
cheaper isn't a unique value proposition, right?
Anybody can go cheaper.
Yeah.
Anybody can get a black eye. That's not
Exactly. And I know that we see a lot of game stores open with like, oh, we're just going to be cheaper than that other store in town. But that's not, cheaper means you're not making money, but you still have the same bills.
It's not a true value proposition that you can build a business on and grow off of. I always try to tell people to not compete on price because that is the end all be all. Somebody else is willing to take less money than you. They're willing to lose more than you are. And it's a race to the bottom.
And when it's a thing like, if it's a thing like a hangout spot, like honestly, the library is free, right? And a lot of libraries now have private rooms that you can just sign up to use. And
even at Fresno State, you can do all of those things at Fresno State's library, the Henry Madden Library.
They have board games you can use. They're leading some game nights. Like, I love libraries. I almost think of them as a competitor now, because it's true. Like they're running D&D and they're doing these things, and it's hard for me not to be like, why are you doing these things? But I have a ton of friends that are librarians, and we have a lot of customers that are. So like it's out there. There are things that you can do. I don't know. It's such a rough business proposal for I just want to create a hangout.
Just a cool, sick hangout spot. I mean, it sounds great on paper, but in reality, and no, not even on paper, because I don't know how to make that make sense.
So the thing is,
for you can sell an insane amount of Magic the Gathering in one weekend and make a huge amount of money. For us, if we get really busy, we can get a slew of people that pay much more than $10 for the day or hour that what it would be. How do you make that actually make profit in the Central Valley? I feel like that's kind of tough.
Right. For the thing he's talking about, which is essentially kind of like a cafe, but all with prepackaged foods. Those places make money by flipping tables, right? You have to sell things or board game bars like Beer for the Meeples. He's not making money from the gaming, he's making money from the beer.
Absolutely.
But to do that, you have to have people that are gonna drink beer, or you have to move a lot of people through so that they'll buy stuff. That's why
one of his core customers that he wanted was teens and up, and that's really tough.
Right, and that's why he does a cover charge. Because he knows you've got to do it that way to get that in there. It was really weird to me because at the time we had a cover charge for a game room and everybody complained about it. And the Beer for the Meeples opened up and had a cover charge that was higher than ours. And everybody's like, well, he has to make money. And
Gotta make money somehow, Jax.
What?
Come on, what are you talking about?
Right? It was very confusing. So yeah, you've got to figure out in your business how you're gonna make money. Why are people gonna come back? Having a lounge to hang out at would be nice. How is he gonna pay for air conditioning? Like we're just under 5,000 square feet at this store. My air conditioning bill in August and September will be north of $3,000.
Oh.
How are you gonna pay that at $10 a person and they can just rent their room for all day? You have to have a huge space. So like I want the person to not fail, but there's also there's always a lot of like, here are potential downfalls, and then it's their decision.
It's their decision. It's up to them. There could very well be something that they know that they aren't sharing or communicating correctly. Like there's an angle to this that we're not seeing.
Right? It could be that they have the perfect location and they're getting it for free because they know the owner, right?
Yeah, and they don't realize,
yeah.
They're not communicating that to us though. What we're seeing is from what we would think most normal people's situation would be. But
exactly.
There could be an outlier, who knows?
Because I'm like, first you got to find a building to lease, and that's not easy here.
We took a long time to find our spot.
We also did a lot, and then when you do move in, if he's going to have all these individual rooms, now he's got a ton of build out he has to do. You got to build all those walls in there.
That's going to take a ton of time.
At the tone, 6 hours, 31 minutes, coordinated universal time.